back softly, which was always you, without the announcement and without the fanfare, just present one morning in the ordinary, the way good things arrive when you don't stare. Too hard at the horizon for the coming, but look away and find them at your elbow. And I looked up from what I'd been attending and found you there as natural as the mellow afternoon that comes without the asking, into rooms that have been waiting for the warmth. And I received you the way you had returned, without the drama and without the storm. Soft returns are better than the loud ones. Soft returns don't ask you to perform. The gratitude and all the re-beginning, just the gentle settling back to form. Soft returns are better than the loud ones. Soft returns don't ask you to perform. I think of how you came back soft and easy, and how the soft return became our norm. Of all the ways of coming back to people, the soft return is what I'd always choose. The quiet and the easy and the present, without the entrance and without the news. There's an hour in the day that asks for honesty, not the performed and not the careful version, just the actual self without the editing. The hour before the daily self-immersion into whatever role the day requires. And I have learned to live inside that hour with the particular clarity of the unmanaged, and find it more than any other power. Honest hour is where the real decisions live. Honest hour is where you know what's true. Before the day puts on its usual asking, you find the you beneath the managed you. I take that hour seriously now and let it tell me what it needs to tell, and carry what it says into the rest, and find the carrying serves me very well. Honest hour is where the real decisions live. Honest hour is where you know what's true. I listen to the honest hour completely and find it always worth the listening to, and find the day goes better for the listening to what the unmanaged self has had to say, and find the honest hour more productive than any other hour of the day. I spent some years catching up to myself, the self that had been moving while I wasn't, paying the full attention to the moving, and found a gap between who I was and doesn't yet describe who I had been becoming in all the unremarked and unattended growth that happens in the background always, while the foreground is where attention's expended. Catching up to yourself is disorienting. Catching up means you have some lost time, but lost time isn't lost. It's just the building that happened while you weren't watching for the sign. I caught up gradually, which is the only way that catching up is ever done. Not all at once, but in the recognizing of who you've been becoming one by one. Catching up to yourself is disorienting. Catching up means you have some lost time. I've caught up mostly now and find the self. I've caught up to considerably prime. For everything the living still requires, and more prepared than the earlier version, and find the catching up was its own growing into the self that needed the immersion. Would last, not a monument, just something with the staying power of the well-made and the considered, that holds its worth past all the usual fraying. Most things don't last, which teaches you the lasting requires more than the good intention. It needs the full attention of the making, and the honest and unhurried in the mention. Lasting things are made with the whole self. Lasting things are made without the rushing. The ones who make the lasting things among us are the ones who gave the making the full flushing of everything they had into the doing, without the cutting of the corner anywhere. And I have tried to make some lasting things, and find the trying worthy of the care. Lasting things are made with the whole self. Lasting things are made without the rushing. I put the full attention into what I make, and trust the lasting to the unhurried touching. The thing with all I have to give it, and find the full attention is the most I can bring to anything worth lasting, and that the lasting honors all the most. I've stood on thresholds more than most, perhaps. The in-between of the door and what's beyond it. The moment before the entering and the after. And found the threshold has its own fondant, particular quality of the suspended, between the known behind and unknown forward. And I have learned to stand inside the threshold, rather than the rushing onward toward. Threshold is where the courage lives in practice. Threshold is the moment of the choosing before the choice becomes the act of chosen, before the gaining and before the losing. Some people cross too quickly and some linger, and I have been the lingering kind mostly, which has its costs in all the slow beginning, but gives the entering something more than ghostly. Threshold is where the courage lives in practice. Threshold is the moment of the choosing. I cross my thresholds now with more intention, and find the crossing worth the time of using. Threshold for the breath before the entering, the moment of the gathered and the still, before I add myself to what is after, and find the threshold gives the entering its fill. I am wide open now, which took some doing. The closing had been years in its construction, and the opening took considerable longer than the closing and its careful reproduction of walls that seemed like wisdom at the building, and turned out to be just the fear in action, and taking them down brick by careful brick was the most rewarding and the most protracted. Wide open is not the vulnerable exactly. Wide open is the brave and the decided to live without the walls that keep the weather out, but also keep the warmth divided. From where you are inside the careful walling, and where the warmth is on the other side. And I decided that the warmth was worth the weather and came out from where I'd hide. Wide open is not the vulnerable exactly. Wide open is the brave and the decided. Less than what I'd feared and more divided, equally between the cold and warming, and find the warming worth the occasional cold, and find the wide open life more living than anything the world life ever told. You always save my seat, which I took lightly, in the years when seats were always being saved, and only understood the weight of it when the saving stopped and I was unsaved. The small acts of the claiming someone present before they've even entered the room are loving in the most forward-looking way. The save seat says you're coming, so there's room. Saved seat is the love that plans ahead. Saved seat is the love that makes the space before you've asked for it or thought to need it. The love that holds your particular place. I've been unsaved for longer than the saved now. I know the difference in the daily entering of rooms without the particular warmth of someone who has held your place and tendering. Save seat is the love that plans ahead. Save seat is the love that makes the space. I save seats now for everyone I love, and feel the saving hold the particular place. Of what it meant when someone saved for me, and what it means to be the one who saves, and find the saving is its own expression of all the love that shows up and behaves. I've grown into the life I have, which wasn't the life I would have chosen at the choosing. But growth is rarely into what you've chosen, and mostly into what the living's using to make you into someone with more depth than the chosen would have given you the having. And I have grown into myself more fully through all the unchosen and its paving. Grown is not the same as settled into. Grown is not the resignation or the given. Grown is the becoming of the fuller version of yourself through all the living. I look at who I was before the growing and feel the distance between then and present, and find the distance worth the having traveled, even through the parts that weren't pleasant. Grown is not the same as settled into. Grown is not the resignation or the given. I'm still the growing and not yet the grown, and find the growing is its own kind of living that keeps on asking more of you while giving more back in the return of the becoming. And I am grateful for the life that grew me into more than what I was when I was coming. You could read the weather of a room before anyone had spoken of the weather, and I would follow your particular knowing into whatever the room was holding together or falling apart inside its own agenda, and trust your reading of the temperature above the obvious and the announced, and find your reading always more than nurture of what was actually happening beneath the surface and the managed and the shown. And I learned to read a little from your reading, which is among the best things I have grown. Some people read the room and some don't bother, and the ones who read it changed change the outcome always. They know before the knowing is available, and navigate the difficult in hallways. Some people read the room and some don't bother, and the ones who read it changed the outcome always. I read the rooms now better than I used to, and feel your reading in my reading always. In the pause before the entering completely, in the taking of the temperature before I add myself into the room's particular, and find I'm better for the reading more. I came to know you slowly, which was right. Some people are the quick read and the surface, and some are the long study and the gradual. And you were always the long study purpose of the deeper and the more behind the shown, the room behind the room, and then the further. And I was still discovering the rooms long after I had thought the knowing's worth there. Slow is the only real knowing. Slow knowing is the one that earns the trust. The quick read leaves you with a sketch, not portrait, and the portrait is the knowing. That's a must. For loving someone past the first impression into the actual and the complicated. And I have only loved completely slowly, which is the way the real love is created. Slow knowing is the only real knowing. Slow knowing is the one that earns the trust. I take my time now with the ones worth knowing, and find the slow is more than just robust. It's the whole of what the knowing is about, the gradual and the earned and the revealed. And what you find in the slow knowing always is more than what the quick read has concealed. days feel like an open road in morning, before the traffic and the usual filling of all the space with what the day requires. And I have learned to love the empty thrilling of the open road before the populating of the hours with their usual content, and find the empty open more than empty, more full of the available intent. Open road is where the possible lives. Open road is where the choice is widest. The early morning of the open feeling is where the self is at its clearest tide and most available to what the day could offer, if you take the open and not the given. And I have had my best days from the open, and my worst from the too quickly driven. Open road is where the possible lives. Open road is where the choice is widest. I keep the morning open when I'm able, and find the open gives the day its brightest possible version of what it could become, before the filling and the usual narrowing, and find the open road more than a feeling, more like the self before the day's own harrowing. Carry light that wasn't originally mine, inherited from people who have given their particular warmth into the passing, and left it in me as a way of living. My grandmother's particular patience, my father's way of finding what was funny, my mother's capacity for the ordinary that made the ordinary feel like honey. Inherited light is what we carry forward from the ones who lit the way before us. Not genes exactly, but the softer passing of how they were inside the world and for us. I find gestures and my mourning, in the particular way I hold my coffee, and in the patience when the patience matters, and in the finding funny what seems costly. Inherited light is what we carry forward from the ones who lit the way before us. I add my own light to the inherited and hope the adding makes the whole more glorious. For whoever carries what I leave behind me, in all the small and unremarked transmission of how I was inside the world and for them, which is the whole of the inherited mission. You came back softly, which was always you, without the announcement and without the fanfare, just present one morning in the ordinary, the way good things arrive when you don't stare too hard at the horizon for the coming, but look away and find them at your elbow. And I looked up from what I'd been attending and found you there as natural as the mellow afternoon that comes without the asking, into rooms that have been waiting for the warmth. And I received you the way you had returned, without the drama and without the storm. Soft returns are better than the loud ones. Soft returns don't ask you to perform. The gratitude and all the re-beginning, just the gentle settling back to form. Soft returns are better than the loud ones. Soft returns don't ask you to perform. I think of how you came back soft and easy, and how the soft return became our norm. Of all the ways of coming back to people, the soft return is what I'd always choose. The quiet and the easy and the present, without the entrance and without the new. Not the performed and not the careful version, just the actual self without the editing. The hour before the daily self-immersion into whatever role the day requires. And I have learned to live inside that hour with the particular clarity of the unmanaged, and find it more than any other power. Honest hour is where the real decisions live. Honest hour is where you know what's true. Before the day puts on its usual asking, you find the you beneath the managed you. I take that hour seriously now, and let it tell me what it needs to tell, and carry what it says into the rest, and find the carrying serves me very well. Honest hour is where the real decisions live. Honest hour is where you know what's true. I listen to the honest hour completely, and find it always worth the listening to, and find the day goes better for the listening to what the unmanaged self has had to say, and find the honest hour more productive than any other hour of the day. I spent some years catching up to myself, the self that had been moving while I wasn't, paying the full attention to the moving, and found a gap between who I was and doesn't yet describe who I had been becoming, in all the unremarked and unattended growth that happens in the background always, while the foreground is where attention's expended. Catching up to yourself is disorienting. Catching up means you have some lost time, but lost time isn't lost. It's just the building that happened while you weren't watching for the sign. I caught up gradually, which is the only way that catching up is ever done. Not all at once, but in the recognizing of who you've been becoming one by one. Catching up to yourself is disorienting. Catching up means you have some lost time. I've caught up mostly now and find the self. I've caught up to considerably prime. For everything the living still requires, and more prepared than the earlier version, and find the catching up was its own growing into the self that needed the immersion. Would last, not a monument, just something with the staying power of the well-made and the considered, that holds its worth past all the usual fraying. Most things don't last, which teaches you the lasting requires more than the good intention. It needs the full attention of the making, and the honest and unhurried in the mention. Lasting things are made with the whole self. Lasting things are made without the rushing. The ones who make the lasting things among us are the ones who gave the making the full flushing of everything they had into the doing, without the cutting of the corner anywhere. And I have tried to make some lasting things, and find the trying worthy of the care. Lasting things are made with the whole self. Lasting things are made without the rushing. I put the full attention into what I make, and trust the lasting to the unhurried touching. The thing with all I have to give it, and find the full attention is the most I can bring to anything worth lasting, and that the lasting honors stood on thresholds more than most, perhaps. The in-between of the door and what's beyond it. The moment before the entering and the after. And found the threshold has its own fondant, particular quality of the suspended between the known behind and unknown forward. And I have learned to stand inside the threshold rather than the rushing onward toward. Threshold is where the courage lives in practice. Threshold is the moment of the choosing before the choice becomes the act of chosen, before the gaining and before the losing. Some people cross too quickly and some linger, and I have been the lingering kind mostly, which has its costs in all the slow beginning, but gives the entering something more than ghostly. Threshold is where the courage lives in practice. Threshold is the moment of the choosing. I cross my thresholds now with more intention and find the crossing worth the time of using. Threshold for the breath before the entering, the moment of the gathered and the still, before I add myself to what is after, and find the threshold gives the entering its fill. I am wide open now, which took some doing. The closing had been years in its construction, and the opening took considerable longer than the closing and its careful reproduction of walls that seemed like wisdom at the building and turned out to be just the fear in action, and taking them down brick by careful brick was the most rewarding and the most protracted. Wide open is not the vulnerable exactly, that keep the weather out, but also keep the warmth divided. From where you are inside the careful walling, and where the warmth is on the other side. And I decided that the warmth was worth the weather, and came out from where I'd hide. Wide open is not the vulnerable exactly. Wide open is the brave and the decided. I live wide open now and find the weather less than what I'd feared and more divided. Equally between the cold and warming, and find the warming worth the occasional cold, and find the wide open life more living than anything the wildlife ever told. You always save my seat, which I took lightly, in the years when seats were always being saved, and only understood the weight of it when the saving stopped and I was unsaved. The small acts of the claiming someone present before they've even entered the room are loving in the most forward-looking way. The save seat says you're coming, so there's room. Saved seat is the love that plans ahead. Saved seat is the love that makes the space before you've asked for it or thought to need it. The love that holds your particular place. I've been unsaved for longer than the saved now. I know the difference in the daily entering of rooms without the particular warmth of someone who has held your place and tendering. Save seat is the love that plans ahead. Save seat is the love that makes the space. I save seats now for everyone I love, and feel the saving hold the particular place. what it meant when someone saved for me, and what it means to be the one who saves, and find the saving is its own expression of all the love that shows up and behaves. I've grown into the life I have, which wasn't the life I would have chosen at the choosing. But growth is rarely into what you've chosen, and mostly into what the living's using to make you into someone with more depth than the chosen would have given you the having. And I have grown into myself more fully through all the unchosen and its paving. Grown is not the same as settled into. Grown is not the resignation or the given. Grown is the becoming of the fuller version of yourself through all the living. I look at who I was before the growing and feel the distance between then and present, and find the distance worth the having traveled, even through the parts that weren't pleasant. Grown is not the same as settled into. Grown is not the resignation or the given. I'm still the growing and not yet the grown, and find the growing is its own kind of living that keeps on asking more of you while giving more back in the return of the becoming. And I am grateful for the life that grew me into more than what I was when I was coming. You could read the weather of a room before anyone had spoken of the weather, and I would follow your particular knowing into whatever the room was holding together or falling apart inside its own agenda, and trust your reading of the temperature above the obvious and the announced, and find your reading always more than nurture of what was actually happening beneath the surface and the managed and the shown. And I learned to read a little from your reading, which is among the best things I have grown. Some people read the room and some don't bother, and the ones who read it changed the outcome always. They know before the knowing is available, and navigate the difficult in hallways. Some people read the room and some don't bother, and the ones who read it changed the outcome always. I read the rooms now better than I used to, and feel your reading in my reading always. In the pause before the entering completely, in the taking of the temperature before I add myself into the room's particular, and find I'm better for the reading more. I came to know you slowly, which was right. Some people are the quick read and the surface, and some are the long study and the gradual. And you were always the long study purpose of the deeper and the more behind the shown, the room behind the room, and then the further. And I was still discovering the rooms long after I had thought the knowing's worth there. Slow is the only real knowing. Slow knowing is the one that earns the trust. The quick read leaves you with a sketch, not portrait, and the portrait is the knowing. That's a must. For loving someone past the first impression into the actual and the complicated. And I have only loved completely slowly, which is the way the real love is created. Slow knowing is the only real knowing. Slow knowing is the one that earns the trust. I take my time now with the ones worth knowing, and find the slow is more than just robust. It's the whole of what the knowing is about. The gradual and the earned and the revealed. And what you find in the slow knowing always is more than what the quick read has concealed. Some days feel like an open road in morning, before the traffic and the usual filling of all the space with what the day requires. And I have learned to love the empty thrilling of the open road before the populating of the hours with their usual content, and find the empty open more than empty, more full of the available intent. Open road is where the possible lives. Open road is where the choice is widest. The early morning of the open feeling is where the self is at its clearest tide and most available to what the day could offer, if you take the open and not the given. And I have had my best days from the open, and my worst from the too quickly driven. Open road is where the possible lives. Open road is where the choice is widest. I keep the morning open when I'm able, and find the open gives the day its brightest possible version of what it could become, before the filling and the usual narrowing, and find the open road more than a feeling, more like the self before the day's own harrowing. Carry light that wasn't originally mine, inherited from people who have given their particular warmth into the passing, and left it in me as a way of living. My grandmother's particular patience father's way of finding what was funny, my mother's capacity for the ordinary that made the ordinary feel like honey. Inherited light is what we carry forward from the ones who lit the way before us. Not genes exactly, but the softer passing of how they were inside the world and for us. I find them in my gestures and my mourning, in the particular way I hold my coffee, and in the patience when the patience matters, and in the finding funny what seems costly. Inherited light is what we carry forward from the ones who lit the way before us. I add my own light to the inherited and hope the adding makes the whole more glorious. For whoever carries what I leave behind me, in all the small and unremarked transmission of how I was inside the world and for them, which is the whole of the inherited mission.